Urbs in Horto. Or Horto.
Huh?
Urbs in Horto. Is it Horto or Orto?
I don't even know what you're saying.
That's Latin for city in the garden.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what Chicago is known as. City in the garden.
Urbs in Orzo.
Orto.
Orzo's like the pasta. Urbs.
Oh, I didn't know that. Anyway, but here's the funny thing about like us being called Urbs in Horto. We called us Serbs. We called ourselves Urbs in Horto, City in the Garden, before we even had gardens or like anything.
It was swampy, huh?
It was swampy, muddy land. It was taken as our motto in 1837 when Chicago was incorporated, and yeah, we called ourselves that.
I think we delivered.
We definitely did, but like before then, it was a long road to get there. Like you said, it was muddy, swampy. Actually, Chicago's first like garden, city, park, whatever you want to call it, was actually built on a cemetery.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, it
was
was
slightly disrespectful.
Yeah, it was built on the cemetery. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it because it was some disrespect going on. But we'll tell you more about that. Chicago's first park. If you could, in the meantime, go ahead and just subscribe to us. We plead with you every week, so just subscribe right here. Y'all see what time it is.
You know.
But speaking of time, 77 Flavors of Chicago, right now. All right, so this is Couch Tomb right behind us, right there. That's Couch Tomb. And here's the significance of Couch Tomb. It was built in 1858 by two brothers to honor their family as a burial site. And they put it right here, right? They put it right here. And so when they put it right there, you know, it was Chicago this was like the city cemetery where we're standing. Like this was part of Chicago City Cemetery. And a lot of people up north, they were kind of like, hey, you know, we like the cemetery, but we want to make it a park because what happened was this started to deteriorate. Okay, it started to deteriorate, and the Northsiders didn't like it. So Chicago, what they did at the time, they were like, all right, we'll kind of clean it up, make it a bit of a park. And so they did, and they called it Cemetery Park. Okay, it was called Cemetery Park. But then even then, it wasn't enough, right? It wasn't enough. The people started to rally together, and this is where it becomes pretty historic because it was the first time, one of the first times actually, when people wanted to create legislature to have more space and parks and things like that.
Like green space. Green
space, yeah, because there was not a lot of things to do. So the people banded together, and the first park was actually created. They said, hey, let's make this, you know, officially the park, right? And
dig up all those bodies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's the crazy part. They actually dug up a lot of the bodies that were right here. And to be honest with you, you don't know how many skeletons are underneath here. You know, at this time, probably bones. The only way you would know that this is a cemetery is because of this. This is the only standing monument left from that time.
That's wild.
But here's the significance. Like I said, people uprose, right? And this became Chicago's first park. Cemetery Park was Chicago's first park. After Abraham Lincoln was assassinated is when they named it Lincoln Park. The person that headed this, it was a few people that headed this, right? And they made this, you know, park, right? When they did that, they made a bunch of other parks, right? That was like the uprising of the park movement here in Chicago.
Okay.
And it all started right here in Lincoln Park. There were several people that were involved in this. They made 3 parks, right? 3 park districts. Lincoln, which is also North Park, the West Side Park District, and then the South Side Park District. Let's go learn about all 3. Like I told you all, there were 3 park systems that were created when this whole uprising and the people kind of said, hey, look, we want more parks. There were 3 parks created, and I told you it was the
Lincoln
Park. It was the West Side Parks, which we'll get to, and then the South Park, which we are in right now. And now the cool thing about the South, all these parks, they had multiple parks in them that made them a system. In particular, since we're in the South Parks, this was made of three primary: Jackson Park, the Midway Plaisance, which is very close to us right here, and Washington Park, which if you follow the podcast, listen to it, or see,
we out here.
You know we've been here multiple times.
Yeah.
And
we particularly love the
Fountain of Time.
Fountain of
Yeah,
Time.
we're looking at it this time. Like normally our backs into it, but like now we're looking at it. So here's here's some fun facts about this park and this park system. I should say the South Park system. It was created by Frederick Law Olmsted, who was another key figure, along with Daniel Burnham and William LeBaron. Not LeBaron. I'm sorry, LeBaron. I'm Laredo Taft. It's cold, y'all. I'm trying to fight this cold right now. But he was a big figure, and he was the person that started the South Parks, and he was from the East Coast, and so to him, he said, "Hey, I'm from the East Coast. We got mountains, we got fields, we got water and things like that." So he said, "I'll go to the South," and what he'll try to do with the way he designed it was he wanted these park systems to connect to Lake Michigan and have water come through it. And he was going to make lagoons, which you can see kind of behind us. He was going to make like hills and fields where people can kind of like play and things like that. Frolic. So that's what he did, with the exception of the water. That wind is kicking our ass, boy.
Sure is.
With the exception of the water, that never happened. But what did happen was he created beautiful parks that had lagoons and bridges and kind of like open fields.
Very photogenic areas, very aesthetically pleasing, chill.
Yeah. Another very fun fact about like what he did in these parks. So what he did in these parks, primarily Jackson Park, things like that, is that he let sheep out onto the fields because he wanted it to be like a land where that was like natural. Like it was a natural land that you could see. So that's what he did. And the sheep kind of like help keep the grass cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say you save on mowing.
You save on mowing. They eat. So but that's the South Park system, which is really dope. We got one more park system that we want to show you, which is the West Side Park system. Let's go there now.
Let's get it.
So one more thing before we get out of here on Washington Park and the South Park systems. One of the reasons why this is like so like famous and popular and part of the National Historic Registration is because it was one of the first park systems in the country to have field houses and to introduce field houses in public spaces where people can like play together. So
and like bathe and socialize and like do all these things that create community.
So that's another reason why, Chicago is also sick as hell, because we were the first to do this. So all right, now let's go to the West Side Park system. So we are at our final stop, but before we talk about the final stop, there were so many different people I told you that were a big part in making the Chicago park systems, not just at this time, but throughout history, right? I don't know if you know, but Jane Addams, she created the Hull House over there in near West Side. She created the first playground for kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she created the first playground. Speaking of that, somebody who helped create more playgrounds for kids was Jacob Reese over there in Belmont Cragen, and he was known for kind of like saying, hey, people need more spaces to play in dense places. The reason why I'm bringing them up is they both were part of social reform, so it was kind of huge for them to be a part of it. But we're on the West Side Park system right now, and the West Side Park system consisted of three major parks at the time: Douglas Park, Humboldt Park, and Garfield Park. They all consisted of the West Side Park, and they were ran by William LeBaron. Now, the thing with the West Side Park system, they were like kind of like a 400 big ones, right? The like some of the major parks that we all know of. But there was another park that was actually even more important and more relevant, and that's where we are right now. We're inside of Columbus Park, which is located in Austin, right on the western border of Chicago. And the cool thing about this one is that this is one of the only parks in America that is listed on the National Historic Places Registry. So
wow.
yeah, and the reason why is because it's a beautiful park, and it really revolutionized.
Even the field house portion of it is really cool.
Yeah, it really is really cool here. And you probably say, why is it cool? Well, I'll tell you. So Jens Jensen is the founder and creator of this park, and Jens Jensen is known as a great landscape architect. He created a bunch of different things here in Chicago and around the country. So he's like country renowned. So this was his first project that he got to work on from start to finish. And when he did it, he added things that weren't available in any other parks, such as this field house, this clubhouse, aquatics, parks to play in, things like that. Really cool. So he created all this stuff, and it became something like a historic piece. So they made it part of the National Registry. Now, the other cool thing about it is that he did so well. He did so well with this park.
Did they ask him to do other parks?
They asked him, William LeBaron asked him to come work on the West Side parks. And so he worked on Humboldt Park, Douglas Park, and all the other parks. And if you remember, go back to our episode, we talked about this. They went through a lot of scandal and a lot of problems, and money wasn't there. Yeah. So he became kind of like the lead man at one point, but they didn't really like him. It was beef. So go back and check out that episode. I believe we talked about it in the Austin community area or Garfield Park, one of those. I can't remember. But he worked on all the other parks, and this park didn't become part of the West in the West Park system until 1912, 1913. When they said, hey, let's add this park to the West Park system. So that's when it became part of, the West Park system. Now, cool. I'm gonna let y'all digest that for a second, because what we just did, we talked about the Lincoln, we talked about the West, we talked about the South, and we kind of went out of order. We went down South first and then back to the West. But what we just did is just traveled Chicago's Emerald Necklace. And I just explained to you what Emerald Necklace is, but the reason why it's significant is because it is huge, right? It was a system when they created these 3 different districts. They said, hey, let's make this, and they call it the Emerald Necklace. And that's how Chicago became a city in the garden.
There you go.
There you go. Now, just some stats about the Emerald Necklace is, like, if you look at it on the map, it looks like it goes literally around what's our downtown area, right? So from start at north, you go west, and you go south. Looks like a green necklace, and it consists of 26 miles of green space.
Wow.
19 parks, 9,000 square feet, almost 9,000 acres of green space. Yeah, 50 nature areas. So this thing is like huge, right? Yeah. And so this is what they kind of worked toward to give Chicago, its green space and make it a city in the garden. Now, all that to say this, all 3 of those, they survived for a little bit of time, right, on their own, but financial problems and things like that. When Chicago said, hey, let's bring them all together, let's consolidate them, in 1934 is when the Chicago Public Parks actually formed, and all 3 of those became the Chicago Public Parks.
Really?
1934.
Wow.
1934 is when that all happened. And if you look at the seal on the Chicago Park District, you'll see that it's a city in a garden.
Wow.
The more you know.
What a good story.
You know? All right. I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
It's cold. This wind has been kicking that ass. I don't care. It's spring, so we out here.
Yeah.
But let's go eat.
Let's go eat.
And warm the hell up. Shit. God, no. Let's go. Peace.
All right, so we are back at our, well, not back, but we are at the food portion of the episode today.
We're finally done moving around this city. Like, it's time to eat.
Moving around the city. We are at Lucy's. And actually, so Lucy started off as a food truck.
Okay.
And it was 2 immigrants, a husband and wife duo. They started out the food truck in 2013, I believe, or 2011.
Okay.
And then they wanted, they started doing pop-ups. They started doing different rebrands. And then finally in 2015, they picked Lucy's as their brand. And then in 2017, they opened up this location that is now in Humboldt Park. And then in
Okay.
2020, they opened up a location in Uptown. They are very like women empowerment kind of place.
Yeah.
That's what they're all about.
You could tell, but they got a huge mural on the wall
Yeah.
of a lady holding the
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah. So
Easy draw. Easy draw.
right. And their chicken sandwiches actually won some awards. We're trying 2 different chicken sandwiches today. We're trying the spicy chicken sandwich, and then we're trying the bacon jam chicken sandwich.
Yeah, that bacon jam. I saw that and I'm like,
I know.
what's a bacon jam? First
I'm
of all.
also having a chocolate shake,
Okay.
mine,
Hey,
and
I like
Dario's having
orange.
a
Orange.
vintage orange
Yeah.
soda.
Yeah.
So
That's what the bar is like themed after.
Yeah.
Like so it's
it's
themed
vintage.
after.
It's meant to be like the 60s type thing.
So what is that
So
first?
this is the bacon jam.
Bacon jam? Okay, let me I'm gonna do the bacon jam also. It's got what is it got on there?
Bacon jam.
Bacon you said it's got bacon and jam.
Bacon jam.
Too bad. Yeah, look at that.
Look at
Oh
that.
my goodness.
Look how beautiful.
All right, let's go ahead and get that
That
first
is.
bite. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the one.
That's amazing.
That's the one.
It's like sweet, salty.
And if you worried about crispiness, let me put
Don't
your
worry.
mind at ease.
Yeah.
It's crispy. Crispy.
It's super crispy.
Crispy. Nope, it's not crispy. Crispy.
Crispy.
I don't want no smoke with nobody. Do the crunch. Do the crunch for the people down there. Do the crunch for them. How y'all like that crunch? Listen to that.
Amazing.
This chicken, I see why I won. It's crispy. It's juicy on the inside. Oh my God.
Super juicy.
So I could only imagine that the other chicken sandwich, you know, the traditional one, is just as good. It's got a ton of coleslaw on it, which is dope. Coleslaw, the pickles, can you see?
Oops.
Oops, shit, I dropped it. There it is.
What do you feel? How would you describe the general vibe of the place?
Like an old diner. It's like an old modern diner.
I was gonna say it's like a vintage laid back, kind of like a chill diner.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely like a chill diner. You got the posters on the wall, old school stuff, all kind of American, you know, memories that's in the pictures. The diner got the vibe. They got the old school tap right up front.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is
They do have beer on tap. They
Yeah.
have cocktails, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to try the mac and cheese. Look at that cheesy.
that's what I want to try. Hold on, I'll try the cheesy
Wow.
fry. Hold on.
You're gonna love that. Look at that crispy
Oh, wait a minute.
chicken.
Oh, you're gonna love these fries. Oh, these fries are
Here, let's swap. Drop
these,
your.
these fries are different. These fries are real different. Oh, yeah. This mac and cheese is different. This mac and cheese winning.
That's amazing. That is really, really good. Look at these cheese fries.
You know what's crazy is that we've been in the parks all day.
All day.
Went to every park. This is perfect park food. Like this is the food that I would have at a barbecue at a park. 'Cause all these you'd be barbecuing in the park. You can catch people out there doing that, but
Yeah.
this is like that food. This is like perfect for that. That jam, that bacon jam, different.
Time to try this burger. Look at that burger.
How it taste?
Wow.
How it taste? It's cold. It's good.
I love it because if you don't love onion, it has the red onion that's really small, so you almost like can't taste it.
Oh man.
It's perfect.
Oh, buttery smooth.
Yeah. So actually, The chicken they serve is Amish chicken,
Oh, I'm in shit.
and then they like get the best beef for their burgers.
It tastes like the best beef. Tell you that much. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
this is like they also do deliver, and you can obviously do pickup, but
If you live close by in the city, by Humboldt Park,
it's worth
it's way worth it.
because like it's in a really cool part of the city, so you can definitely like
Yeah.
spend the day out here or like come and hang out.
Yeah, you're close to the Garfield Park Conservatory. You're close to the actual Humboldt Park.
Right.
So, like you all over the place
Yeah.
with it. Here's what I'm gonna do, y'all. I got some of the bacon jam with the macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna see how that tastes.
That's fire, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to owe me 10%. I want 10% every sale. That's good. That bacon jam.
This burger is so simple but
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. That burger. And simple, not in a bad way. Simple in the how it should be.
Yeah.
Do it and do it right. God, don't. All right. I think that's a wrap.
I
That's a
think we're
wrap.
gonna go eat.
Yeah.
Come check
Man.
out Lucy's. They haven't go to their Uptown location. Come to their Humboldt Park location.
Go to any park. Go to any park in the city, and we hope you got a new appreciation for it. It's springtime in Chicago, even though we froze
Happy
our ass off.
springtime.
We froze our ass off today, but it's spring in Chicago. Whatever, we here now. But go ahead and check out the Emerald Necklace and all the other parks in the city, man. 600 parks in the city.
That's wild.
600 plus parks in the city. 9,000 acres almost. Y'all, go outside, man. Like Sarah says, go touch some grass.
Go to some grass.
We'll catch you next time.